Let's go back to one of the big stories from late last week. Gauteng Education is closing down the illegally operating Crowthorne Christian Academy in Midrand. It comes to the notice of the department after an apparent racist incident at the school. The department tried to help the school properly register and institute transformation programs, but officials were barred from entering the school, so it has become very, very messy. Pupils, I understand, will get details now, are going to be moved to new schools. The department's spokesperson, Steve Mabona, making time this morning for me. Hello, Steve. I know it's Saturday and a very early Saturday for you, so I appreciate the message. I appreciate the time this morning. Just help me understand, is the school officially closed as of now, or as of yesterday? The school is no longer operating. Is that correct?
Yes, we can confirm that we have officially now closed or shut down the school because you'll understand that we had to make sure that we interact with them, and we can confirm that we've shut down the school now. They don't have to operate because, remember, they had initially, shut down themselves. They've closed their gates, and now we've done it officially.
Why is that? Just give me the exact reason why you've now closed it down as well. Because there's still a bit of confusion as to about the registration, the registering and the registration and the licensing of the school, or is it this alleged racist incident? There's a bit of confusion, Steve. What was the actual reason for closing it down?
Well, this incident, we might say that it actually generated interest from ourselves to interact very closely with the school. Remember, after we visited them on the same day, that is on Monday, we were going to the school on the incident that was reported to us by the parent to say this is how the child was treated. Upon arrival, we then had to make sure that we check the compliance, because all schools need to comply. So we had to check whether the school is registered. And we then realized that the school has actually decided to relocate. They've relocated from the original address where they were in Sunning Hill and registered in a different name. So that then that's why we then announced that actually they are operating illegally. Because when you relocate from one address to the other, you then need to inform us. We must come and check and make sure that everything is in the way it's supposed to be, conform to our regulations and all that. So we then agreed as a department to say, because there's children there that need to be in a classroom, let's go back and check on how can we work with the school to assist them to understand their policies. Now we are going back to the incident, because when we perused their code of conduct was clear to say natural hair, there's nothing wrong with it, and which meant that nothing wrong with the dreadlocks. And we wanted to then assist them to also look at the issue of saying they don't want extensions. We are saying there's no school that can tell us that they don't want extensions, because when we had the problem of hair, we had to do a workshop on all our public ordinary schools, and all the independent schools, we took them to a summit where we were dealing with social cohesion, and we understood that we don't have to discriminate against any child, basing ourselves on hair. I mean, knowing where we come from as a country.
So was this, Steve, sorry, forgive me, was this a misinterpretation of the regulations that you say the school had in place? Excuse me, I'm fighting a bit of a cold. I keep clearing my throat in your ear, Steve. I'm sorry. Is this a misinterpretation of what was in the regulations by the teacher that was involved in this incident with this young pupil? Was it just that this teacher, or maybe it was the principal or the owner, you'd have to clarify who it was for me, just didn't understand the regulations at their own school?
Well, we thought that that's what was happening. That's why we felt that, okay, on Thursday, let's then go back our officials must go back to the school and work with the school, because Tuesday they went, they could not access the school. On Wednesday also there was marches there, and they probably, because one of the officials was then arrested, they were not there. Thursday we communicated with them, wanted to access the school, could not. And now we then also learned that the attitude probably is not the one of people who really want to teach our children. Hence we felt that now, because they can't continue to operate illegally, and now we can't access them, we can't even assist them with the registration process, then the only thing that we need to do as a department, we need to shut down the school. So we have done so, we've shut down the school, and we are continuing now with the process of making sure that the previous location where the school was registered in another name, we must also look into that one as well. If there's no compliance there, we also will then shut down that one as well.
Very quickly, what's happening with the pupils at the school this coming Monday? Because now we're into the weekend, Steve. What's the plan for the pupils this coming Monday? Because as you say, they need to be in class.
Yes, we call upon parents to really work with us, because in absence of us getting contacts of the parents from the school, it will be difficult for us to place those children. So hence we call upon parents to interact with us to make sure that at least we place those children in the different schools, because we are willing to even place those ones that are at the previous location, because we know that there were children there as well. So parents need to interact with us so that we make sure that learners are placed in different schools. There's not even a lot of children that we're talking about here.
Very quickly, Steve, just on the hair issue, is this now going to become a discussion point with other private schools and having them relook at their hair policies? I don't understand why in 2023 we still have schools dictating to children and parents what natural hair should look like and how it should be styled. I suppose you could argue as long as it's, neat. And, then what's the problem? Why are we still having this discussion in 2023, telling a young child how to wear her natural hair? It's a big problem, isn't it?
I think these ones were very silly, if I were to put it that way. Because remember, when the former MEC was here then, the Premier now, he told the independent schools that and the public ordinary schools that we can't be obsessed with hair. We need to make sure that we're in the classroom and we're teaching. So hence we then had to meet all of them. So we didn't expect this to happen, because we had interacted with all the private schools, and we are quite sure that all of them are aware that they're supposed to be behaving, in a way that this is not discriminative.
I really am going to say goodbye to you after this one, Steve. I do need to let you go. The young girl involved in this incident with the dreadlocks or the extensions, what's the status on her? Is she going to stay in a private school, or is she going to a public school? Obviously, I'm not asking for details of the school name, but what's the status on her education as of Monday? Where is she going?
No, we've been interacting with the parents, because remember, we do have access of the parent, and we have offered them to place the child. So we're waiting for them to give us a go-ahead. We're working very closely with them. We can't say where, because of how the incident occurred, and the child needed counseling, and we have actually extended that. We have provided that as well to say we can also assist on that score. So we're not going to be, working, in silos. We will work with the parents and make sure that we place the child accordingly.
Okay, accordingly then it seems, I imagine, the same level of institution and educational institution. Steve, thank you very much indeed. It's still, as you can hear, quite a sensitive topic when it comes to how the school was able to be registered and licensed. That seems to be the big one coming out of this. The school has been shut down, according to Steve Mabona of the Gauteng Department of Education.